All right. Good morning. It's a couple minutes before the bottom of the hour here. Um, I do have the risk disclosure up. So in the meantime, you can review. We'll give folks a couple minutes here to start, and we'll get started here in a couple. Okay. Good morning, Stumps. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here, guys. I do have the risk disclosure up, and then I'm not going to go through it in detail. You can review it here. But basically, the extent to this is to let everyone know that I'm not here in any sort of advisory capacity. All right, I'm not here to give investment advice, to offer, buy, or sell, recommend, endorse any security, company, instrument, or fund. Um, use Basically, the use of this information is to be used at your own risk. It's to be used for educational purposes. Um, we all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk, and an investor could lose all or more of their initial investment. Only risk capital should be used when trading the markets, capital that we can otherwise afford to lose without compromising our financial security or lifestyle. Again, there's nothing here contained is herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so let's go ahead and like we start market here, guys. We're going to go ahead and start with the news. All right, to see if there's anything on the news front that we should be aware of. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can remove this little dialog box that's up here. All right. Okay. Hopefully that'll go away soon. No. All right. Here we go. All right. So looking at the news, we have a fair amount of news. Okay. A lot of it has already been reported. Okay. We had, oops. This is, I don't know why Italian is here. Let me see if I can modify this here. All right. Well, let's try to log in. Okay, let's see if I can filter this down to, well, we just have US here. It's kind of odd that we don't have much in the way of news today. Um, yeah, according to this, we don't have much in the way of news. That's kind of odd. Normally we have something, but in any case, that's good for us. Other than, like I said, we continue to look at, to be aware of the 10 o'clock time frame, right? Because that's the option expiration time. So 10 o'clock Eastern should be a time that you should be aware of as well, because of the option expiration and the impact that it has, potential impact that it has on futures. Okay, any options that have futures exposure have a potential impact to move it here. Okay. So yeah, looks like we have very light in the way of news, so we don't need to look at it any further. We're going to go ahead and move on to the charts. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move this down here. All right. So just like we start every market, we always start with the higher time frame. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down some of these indicators here. We'll see if we can leave that one there because I'm going to need it here later. Yeah. Okay. So let's start off with the daily chart. Okay. So daily chart, again, similar vein. We had a very nice, I guess, a bullish engulfing candle that closed here yesterday in the gold market, and now we've kind of followed it up with not as decisive a candle, but still above the price that I guess we were able to gain yesterday. Okay. So again, still very much in this consolidation range. Again, you can see that we are in kind of some triangle consolidation pattern here. Okay, looking something like this. Okay, right. We're just in this consolidation pattern. Okay, that's what it looks like to me here. Okay, stretch this out here. Something along those lines. Okay. So the consolidation pattern, until it's broken, well, we have a lot of overlapping price as all triangle patterns do provide. Okay. So daily, again, not really. I would say, I mean, certainly of late, I would say that probably we're more up than down. Okay. But nonetheless, we are consolidating. Okay. So let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay. So again, similar kind of thing we were talking about, right? We've begun to establish a little bit of structure to the upside. We have higher highs and higher lows. Okay. But we're in kind of a larger consolidation pattern, right? We've broken some structure here to the left. Right. So we've broken some structure here as it was here. And now we're coming into an area around 2480, 2490 that that the buyers are looking to challenge. But it is an area where we could expect to see sellers. Okay. It's an area where we could see some resistance. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. I'm going to stretch this out. I'm going to go ahead and remove this triangle pattern because it's of less of significance here. But on a higher time frame, it's important to understand. Okay, so price has opened above value, above settlement, above EMAs. I don't know what happened to my 233-day EMA here, but I'm going to go add it back in here. So EMA. Going to add the 233-day EMA. Okay, we'll change that 233, and we'll make it a gold color. All right. So we are above some EMAs that I like to follow. This is 169 EMA, which is a lot closer to the market, I believe. Let's double confirm that. Oh, it's actually the 20. So we have the 20 EMA. Okay. 20 EMA is a very nice EMA because it tends to follow the trend, right? And it offers us opportunities, um, for locations to participate. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the VWAP. VWAP is actually quite close here. So let's see what else that we could draw from this. I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay. Oh, the fixed range volume profile is already here. Okay. So price is above value, right? Above value. So that tells us that the bulls are very much in control of the market. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance. So we have, oops, that's not the correct initial balance. We're going to move that over to New York. Okay, so here's the New York initial balance. Okay, so we have a little bit of confluence with the IB low. Notice how price came down to value. Okay, and it provided us a nice reference area for participation in the market. Now, like I said, normally I like to wait for the initial balance range, but it just kind of gives further evidence that these levels do provide us reference levels where we can manage our risk. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up ADR. Okay. Here's our ADR level. I'm going to go ahead and open up ASR. All right. We'll make sure that it's set to New York. Okay. So this area might change here a bit. Okay. So we're getting a little bit of a reaction off the top of ADR. Okay. Or ASR, I should say. And we definitely have some room to the upside in this market. Okay. So let's see what else. What would be some hypos that we can offer here? Well, first thing that comes to mind, okay, is the fact that we are above mostly everything that we care about is that we have a continuation move to the upside. Okay. So we have a reference level that we're at right now. We have IB low and value area high that could offer us a reference to participate in a long trade. Okay. We have ADR above us that could offer us a nice reference level, okay, as a target, all right, which would make for a very nice reward to risk trade, all right. So that's one hypo. There's certainly the possibility that price can get inside value, all right. We still have to get above 2480 in order to really, I would say, accelerate to the upside, okay. This needs to be broken. All right. But you can see that we are in a bit of structure to the upside in the gold market. So let's go ahead and capture our levels here. So we'll go ahead and copy paste our levels that we're going to be looking at here. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. Okay, there's our levels. Okay, for gold today. All right. I'm just going to double confirm some things here. So we have average daily range high is, we got, 2489. I had it 2489.10. ADR low, 2445. Average session range, again, most likely will change on us. So I have a higher range here. So I can go ahead and we'll put that one here at 2462.30. Okay, we've already exceeded it. Okay, we have 2406 to the downside. Where is 2406 to the downside. So let's add that there. $24.06. So I got two value area lows here. So I'm going to go ahead and modify one of these, 24.06. '06. What was that? 2406 or 2436? Oh, it's 2436. 2436. Okay, just gonna double check and make sure I've captured that level here. So let's see here, 24. Put that down. So we have 24, 36, 36 as our average session range low. Okay, we'll get rid of this here. All right, so get this rid of this here. All right, so we had our value area low at 24.4120. 24.4120. That's IB low. Sorry. 24.51. Okay, is value area low. 24.5160. So this is 24.5160. All right. Okay, looks like this is now closer to reality here. Okay, this is average session range. All right. Okay. All right. So again, we have bullish, I would say bullish sentiment going into the market. All right. So I would say right now I would be looking for opportunities for a bullish long trade in the gold market. Okay. I'm going to be interested to see what direction this initial balance range opens. But the current feeling is that it potentially will break to the upside. Okay. So, but I'm not necessarily embraced. I'm open to both, right? If it opens up, if it breaks to the upside, then I'll be looking for some bullish opportunities. If it breaks to the downside and gets below value area high and settlement price and actually below this average session range, then we could make a full rotation down to the bottom of the value, maybe down to this EMA that I've drawn here, 233-day EMA. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at here in the gold market. Like I said, right now it's looking relatively bullish, all right? But that could quickly change, all right? So we're right at a level here that is a solid reference level to support a long trade, okay? Potentially a stop inside value with target up as high as ADR would be, a reasonable trade. Okay. All right. Checking to see if there's any questions. I'm not seeing them. So we're going to go ahead and move on to crude oil. Okay. Let's see, we don't need this. I'm just making a few changes here, guys, to my spreadsheet that gets published here. So I just want to make sure that these numbers look in order before we move on. Okay. So let's let's see, 4 hour. We're missing the 4 hour. Let's see, we'll get rid of. All right. Just going to peek at one more thing, guys. I'm just gonna validate my 4 hour demand zone, and I would say that the 4 hour demand zone is 2422.40. That looks like a reasonable demand zone in this market. So capture this here, 2422.40. That's my 4 hour demand. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay. This market here to the left, or to the right, I should say. Okay. And let's get started. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all these drawings here, guys. And we're going to focus again on the daily chart. Okay. How can I use average daily range and average session range? Well, those are zones for potential reversal, Garner tag. Okay, so these zones measure the volatility of a particular instrument. Okay, it takes the highs and the lows for say the past 7 or 14 days, comes up with an average, and then this average then creates ranges. These ranges provides us reference levels on a normal day, what the anticipated range for that instrument is for the day or for the session. And if you do enough back testing on those two aspects, gamer, you will see that these areas on a normal day, independent of any sort of news, they offer us nice reference levels for reversals, okay, in price, okay? They serve as targets in a lot of cases, and also nice areas for potential reversal. Hopefully that answers the question. So ADR stands for average daily range. ASR stands for average session range. Average daily range is independent of session. Take the high and low, take an average of say the 7 days back, 14 days back. Take that average, and those that's you get the daily range. And then for the session, in my case, I look at New York. I take the highs and lows of New York over the past 7 and 14 days and create ranges from that. Okay. All right. So looks like I got your question. All right. So looking at the crude oil market. All right. So again, similar to what we've been saying on the gold, looks like we've been in kind of a range, right? So on the top side, we got 83.16. On the bottom side, we have 72.36. Of late, we've been in this kind of market structure to the downside. Okay, I would say, right? And the way I kind of like looking at these things, I like drawing my little channel, and my channel tells me that, well, the channel is pointing down, right? So that is an indication to me that we are still in very much bearish structure. Now, if we do get price to close above this channel and start to break maybe some structure to the upside, then my opinion would change from potentially bearish to bullish. Okay. But right now we are very much inside a channel to the downside. Now we have obviously a series of candles, right, that are bullish, but we are still, in my humble opinion, in bearish structure. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart. Again, we have our view here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to this most recent. Now, if we just look at these more recent candles, we can see that we had higher highs and higher lows, right? So we're starting to see some structure that indicates that maybe we're starting to come into a market that's going to become bullish, right? But in a larger time frame, we are still very much in a bearish structure. So showing signs of bullish behavior, but we need to get above, okay, I would say 77, okay, in the near term, for this bullish action to continue. All right, because if you can see here, you look to the left, this is an area where we could potentially see sellers, right? How do we know that? Well, look at the series of candles that we had when we looked to the left, right? We found sellers at these levels. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn off this. I think we already have a view of the fact that we are in a higher time frame bearish market structure. All right. So we're going to take a look and kind of double confirm that I've captured the correct volume profile here. And I have. All right. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to share some of these levels. Okay, share some of these levels that I captured here in the crude oil market. And I'll add these here. Okay, so these levels are what I'm going to be looking for. Okay, as reference levels and locations for participation in the market. But I just don't look at these levels blindly. There's a combination of levels plus price action that I need to see in order for me to look to participate in the market or opportunities. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up our ADR range. So that gives us the range that we could expect for the day in crude oil. All right. And as I mentioned before, these areas here and here provide me reference levels for 1 short, 2 long. These levels here. Okay. They offer me locations for possible reversals. The next thing that I'm going to look at here is initial balance. Initial balance is we're still about 5 minutes away from the initial balance range opening up here, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on anyway because chances are I'm not going to finish this in that time frame, and we'll start to see a little bit of initial balance. So let's start to check some of these levels. So I have average daily range. I got 77.25. That seems to be in order. Got 74.77 on the bottom side. I'm gonna go ahead and open up average session range. Okay, let's go ahead and locate that. We're gonna open that up. We're gonna put it in for New York. Okay, so we're at the top end of the range. This might adjust a little bit once we get the open of the equities. Okay, right, because we've already exceeded it to the upside. Right. So let's see. Average session range, we got 76.48. That seems in order. We got 74.77, which is also in line with our daily ranges. Okay. So this is kind of the ranges that I would expect. Again, the average session range could change here. Okay. With the open of the market, open of New York here in about a little over a half hour. Okay. So let's see, value area high, that is in order. So it looks like these numbers are indeed what we need to look for in the market. So what to make of this market? Well, similar to what we said about the gold market, we are above value, meaning that we have bulls very much in control of this market. We have value area high here, okay? Value area high from yesterday. That is being respected, right? So we can see here that price is above this value area high. Okay, so that could serve as a springboard. Okay, this could serve as a springboard for continued price action to the upside. Right at this point, I would be even inclined to go ahead and draw a channel. Right, so as long as I stay inside this channel, okay, inside this channel, then I could look for opportunities to the upside. The moment that price breaks below that channel, either I'm moving into a range kind of price action, or a potential reversal in price. Okay, so as long as this price stays intact and remains in this channel, I'm going to be looking for bullish opportunities. Okay. One last thing I'm going to add here. I'm going to add not anchored volume profile, but I'm going to add a anchored VWAP. Okay, because again, that's also another kind of sentiment that I'm going to be using here. I'm going to use this pivot right here. Okay, and like I said, as long as price stays above this anchor VWAP and above and inside this channel, then I'm going to be looking for some bullish opportunities in the crude oil market. What could be my targets? Well, my average daily range, right? Those are statistical levels for price to reach. Okay, so that's kind of how I use them. I not only use them as targets, but I also use them as areas for opportunities. In this case, opportunities for reversal in price. Okay. All right. Let's see. If there's any questions, I don't see any questions. So we'll go ahead and move on to the equity market here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the NASDAQ. Okay. All right. NASDAQ. All right. Again, we're going to turn off some of these levels here. Okay. I believe this is the correct. Yes, we're going to keep that. And then again, we're going to look at the daily chart and ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to accomplish? Well, again, we had a very nice, bullish engulfing candle here. All right. But, we're probably at an area of demand. You can see here on the left that we're in an area of demand, right? Why am I saying that this is an area of demand? Well, if you look at this on the left-hand side, okay, we had price leave this area, right? We had price leave this area and then come back to retest before it continued. Yeah, demand is another way of saying support. Correct, right? We had price leave this area, come back, get retested, did not make a new low, right? So that means that this area here is an area of demand or support. Notice how we had price wick into this area and it was bought up. Okay. So again, this is evidence that there are buyers here. Okay. It bounced. Correct. These are areas where we see that there are evidence of buyers. It bounced from this area. Okay. So given that we have this daily, right? We still are in bearish structure. Okay. Again, here on my channel, we are in bearish structure, but we've come into an area of demand. Okay. Now, if we are able, now this is the daily chart. We won't see this probably today, but if we start to see that we get a close, okay, we'll have to wait until the end of the day in order to confirm this. But if we get a close above this channel, that could be an indication that we could continue to rally here. We are seeing some evidence of buyers kind of stepping into this area. Okay, 17,250, is an area where we got some significant buying coming in. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. So 4-hour chart, we have again the same channel. Okay, we have again similar to what we saw here. Again, we got another test of an area again that's supportive, right? So we had a move, we had a pullback, but this pullback did not make a new low. This pullback was basically found buyers. Okay, now we have a developing bearish engulfing candle. Okay, because as I mentioned before, and on a larger time frame, we are still very much in bearish structure. Okay, so this could just be simply a pullback, right, of this swing here. We had a nice swing here on what was that, Thursday into Friday. Okay, and now we are, potentially this is just merely a pullback of this swing for our next leg lower. Okay, that's what it looks like to me. Okay, and we have a bearish engulfing candle in addition to that, right, giving us some price action to indicate that sentiment is indeed in play. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart again. So we're going to go and widen up our levels. We are inside value. Okay, market has yet to open, but we are inside value, and chances are we're going to open up inside value when the market opens here in about 27 minutes or so. Okay, inside value means that price is in balance, that we have a balance of buyers and sellers. Okay, the fact that we are coming in from above into value, chances are we're probably going to see, value area low here be reached before we see any sort of significant, move in the opposite direction. Okay. So let's go ahead and start to capture our levels here, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and add my levels that I'm going to be looking at here in the NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm going to plop these onto the chart. There we are. Okay, these are the levels. I'm going to double confirm them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at our average daily ranges. All right, so this is the high and the low. Notice we're on the, I guess maybe on the lower third. I guess you can think of it that way. And I'm going to look here. Okay, we got the average daily range high coming in at 18,846. We got average daily range low coming in at 18,253. Now, the average session range, okay, is technically this range is probably Asia's, okay, but the average session range is going to get adjusted once the equities open up, because it is session based. All right, but this is kind of like a session within a session. This is the session range for Asia. Okay, this was the session range for Asia. And notice, gamer, how well did average daily range offer us both a long opportunity and a short opportunity, right? Notice how it reversed from these two levels. I don't know if gamer is still here, but this is a good example of how the average session range and daily range offers us opportunities, okay, for reversals. All right. Okay, so let's see. Lost my okay, what I wanted to check here. Okay, value area high is checking in correctly. Okay, so gamer, this is a good example of application of average session range. Okay, right? We see how this is this ASR was developed for Asia. Notice how we got some nice reversals away from ASR high and ASR low. ASR low to the long side, ASR high to the downside. Okay, so that's how we use ASR. It offers us reference levels where we can manage our risk and locate potential opportunities from a location basis. What is the value area high and low? Well, here it is, 18,535.25. Jimmy, is our value area high, and our value area low is 18,356. Area in blue that I have identified here. Okay, that's our value area range. Right now we're inside value. Okay, so again, for me, I generally wait for the first hour. I say generally wait for the first hour of trade before I do anything. How do I get that value? I go into the in this case trading view. All right, and I open up my fixed range volume profile. Okay, and I believe that's also available in Top Step X. And then I basically highlight the area that I want this profile to generate a high value area high and value area low. So I take it from here. All right, the Thursday's open, right, to Thursday's close. Okay, and it creates this value area. It gives me the high, which is the high end of the value, high end of the profile, and the low end inside this yellow. What's inside this yellow is considered value. So we are technically inside value at the moment. Okay, so that's how I arrive at my value area high and value area low. Jimmy, hopefully that helps answer your question there. Okay, so I always generate the volume profile for the prior session. Okay, the only thing that I look at from a value perspective is initial balance for the current session. Okay, all right. Okay, so what would be some hypos? Well, we are coming into an average session range low here in the Nasdaq. This could offer us a location for a reversal in price. I say could, right? We need to see some price action, and for me, I like say 3-bar reversals. I like to see channel breaks. Okay, right, to offer me opportunities to the upside. Okay, that's kind of what I'm going to be waiting for. I need to see a break of structure before I'm willing to back it with any sort of capital, right? I don't want to be in this kind of bearish structure looking for a long, even though I'm at a good location. Okay. Yes. NQ tested those poor highs and reversed away from them. That was an ASR level. Correct. Okay. All right. Now we're coming into an area where we could potentially see a reversal in price. Right. It's also the point of control from yesterday. What's point of control? Well, that's where the highest volume of the price that generated the most volume in trade. Okay, this could also offer us an area. So we have two areas here that could offer us a reversal in price. But I'm not just going to look at location. I'm going to look for price action to indicate that my view and my sentiment is correct. Okay, all right. So that's a bullish scenario, right? How do you get point of control? Yes, point of control is this item in red. Okay. Yes, from prior day. Point of control is this area right here, right? I get this point of control from the volume profile that I drew for yesterday's session. Okay. All right. So again, this is my point of control right here. You see the red line? Okay. Well, that's my point of control. 18,405 or 409, depending on how this line lines up. Yeah, 409, 409.25. It's right here, listed, right? Point of control, 18,409. Again, another reference level for targets, as well as I don't use point of control all that much for potential entries, but I'm not opposed to it. Okay, especially if I get some price action to indicate that they're going to respect that level. Okay, all right. Yeah, this is definitely an area for a possible reversal in price, no doubt. Okay, right. I see that we have a couple of confluences of location, ASR low, point of control. All I need for me to really embrace along would be a break of channel to the upside. Okay, all right. Before I move on to the ES market, any other questions on Nasdaq? I think right now, from a risk perspective, you would have to look for longs. Okay, in this market, it's not to say that we cannot continue to the downside. We could very well continue. This ASR low may only give us a very meek bounce. All right, there's no guarantee that it has to. But look, we are starting to see that this area is being respected. Okay. All right. I'm not seeing anything more in the way of questions, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the to the S&P. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do this and open up this area here if I can do it. All right. Okay. So I've already drawn in my volume profile. Okay. This is not. Let's see. Yeah. My volume profile has already been drawn. I have some gamers. So I have if you go to my YouTube channel, gamer, you should find some sessions where recordings where I have done just that. Okay. So, and if there is something that you do not see and would like to see, happy to, provide a video along those lines. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at the the daily chart here. All right. So again, we're going to ask ourselves the question again, very similar to what we're seeing in the NAS. Okay. You can see that we are still very much in this bearish channel, okay, to the downside. We're starting to come into some areas of demand or support, okay? This is an area of support. We went from overlapping candles to trend. You're welcome, Frizu. We went from overlapping candles to trend. Well, we're back at this level. What did it do? Well, it reversed away from it. 5,200 for some market participants, they felt it was a bargain. All right. So what happened to price? Well, we have price move away. We have buyers come into this market, right? But we are technically still in bearish structure. All right, moving on to the 4-hour chart. For our chart, I'm going to go ahead and undo this. Okay. Again, still very much in bearish structure. We're starting to see some signs that maybe we're trying to, yes, 5,200 shows support. Absolutely. 100% agree with that, Jimmy. Okay. 5,200 is supportive, right? We have a double bottom here, right? Now, the question is can price sustain above, I'm going to say 5,360? If price can sustain above 5,360, then we will continue to move higher. Okay. Right. Because I don't see anything in its way until about 54.45. What was prior support will become resistant. So 54.45, I'm going to go ahead and actually highlight this here. Right. This is going to be an important area for me. 54.45, because this area could offer me a logical location for a potential reversal in price from current price action. Now, it may reverse earlier than that, but this is a logical level. Well, again, why? Because this was an area of support in the past. It got broken. Well, what was once supportive will become resistant. Okay. 54.50 is an area that I would look for maybe a continuation move to the downside. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. I'm going to go ahead and remove this channel because I think we all understand that we are in a bearish channel to the downside. Okay, now we're going to take a look at our volume profile. Okay, we're going to add my levels, all right, that I've captured for this market. Okay, and ask myself the question, well, first question I'm going to ask is, am I above or below value? Okay, well, actually, I'm in the middle. So right now, market's still about 15 minutes away from opening. Market's in balance. Market's inside a value zone. All right. So I can't anticipate that market is going to move in a strong direction one way or the other. We could be kind of bouncing around. Generally, we see a lot of overlapping price once we're in value, right? Because kind of people are trying to figure out where to take this market. Now, similar to yeah, we're in range, correct. So similar to NASDAQ, we bounced off of point of control. Okay, right? We bounced off of point of control. Now, the other thing I'm going to take a look at is ADR levels. Okay, so we are still in the middle of the range. I'm going to go ahead and open up ASR. This is the range that was established in the Asia market. Okay, notice again, we very similar, right? ES and NQ are very correlated markets. You know, we've been talking about that in our coaching sessions, right? Very correlated markets, these NASDAQ and ES. Okay, so since they're correlated, you can expect similar behavior. Okay, so let's double confirm some of these levels. We have average daily range high is at 54.08. We got the average session high 53.64. We got value area high at 53.49. So these all are checking out level wise. Again, these levels, these areas in white are just locations for me to look for either one, entry, or two, targets. Okay. If I don't know exactly where price can go, right, rather than me guessing, or if I'm evaluating a trade and I want to understand whether there's enough risk reward in this trade, I look at the list in white to see, in this case, if I'm looking long, what is the next logical reference level for me to look at as a target? And if it is it far enough away for me to potentially entertain a trade? If I don't see at least a 2-to-1 opportunity, okay, then I don't take the trade, right? If it's so close to a reference level that I care about, then I feel like I'm taking far too much risk for the opportunity that's been presented. Okay. All right. Trying to see here. So right now, I would say that we are looking at a potential long opportunity. Okay. For me, I'm not an opening range trader or anything of that sort. I generally like to wait for the initial balance range to establish, basically the first hour of trade before I look for any sort of opportunities in the market. Okay, but right now it's developing as maybe a potential opportunity to the upside. Okay, there's no guarantees in this, but that's what it's looking like to me in range. All right, we buy this area, we sell this area. We've been bouncing around this area since the close of the market yesterday. Okay. All right. Gonna take a peek here and see if there's any questions. Yeah, so kind of before the close here, guys. So just encourage you guys again. We've been through 4 markets. If this what I'm sharing with you resonates with you, I would encourage you to hit the subscribe and like button. That's kind of the lifebread or lifeline for content providers such as myself. So don't be afraid to hit the like button. Don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button and comment, right? Provide some comments to me on what what resonates, what doesn't resonate. What are some maybe like as gamers suggested here, maybe a video or two on the various aspects of my of the list that I have here generated. Okay. So let's move on to the last market that we're going to take a look at today. And then maybe if we have time, I might look at one other. And that is the Dow. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Dow market. I don't have established levels. I haven't gone through the same levels, but we can do this. Actually, it would be a good exercise for people because I'm going to have to do most of this from scratch. Okay. This is what I do with every market that I participate in. This is what I do on a daily basis. Okay. Yeah. We're going to talk about that right now. Okay. Jimmy, we're going to go through an end-to-end analysis, all right, of the Dow using all the items that in my list. Okay, so gamer, Jimmy, stay tuned. All right. So we got first of all, we're going to take a look at is the daily chart. Okay. Daily chart. We're coming off this. What is this? I believe is 20. No, it's 169. Okay. We're coming off this 169 EMA. All right. Which again is a logical level for price to potentially reverse away from. Okay. So we have we got a bullish engulfing candle that was established at the close of yesterday. All right. Now we have an opening candle that's a bit indecisive. All right. Just like the NASDAQ, just like the ES, we are still in bearish structure on the daily, right? But we are coming into an area of demand, an area where we could potentially see price reverse. All right. So first time frame where I start to, and I'm going to remove all my drawings. I don't change periods. Again, I use these periods as a way to measure sentiment. Okay, so I use the 233. I use the 169. You'll find that I use on occasion the well, more than on occasion, the 20 EMA. All right, these are all exponential moving averages that I use to measure and evaluate sentiment of the market. Okay, all right. So let's start with demand. Okay, now every time, and I say every time in the recent past, okay, price came down to 38,746 and reversed. Price came back down to 78.46 and reversed. Price came back down to 70.46 and reversed. So I don't know about you, right? I don't know about you, but this for me is a demand area. Does that make sense? Now, you can think of it as support. Now, when I think of support, I think of more like lines. I like to think of these as areas of interest, right? This is an area of interest for buyers. That's how I arrive at my 4-hour demand. Okay. So if I'm gonna capture this, I'm gonna say that my 4-hour demand, okay, it's technically a range because buyers can step in anywhere inside this range. Okay. But my 4-hour demand, I'm going to put at 38 for this market on a 4-hour chart at 38,750. Okay. That's the top end of demand. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask myself the same question from a supply perspective or resistant perspective. So I don't know if I see enough evidence here to say that this area is supply. Okay. But what I do see here a pretty significant candle, right? That went to the downside. Okay. This is a pretty significant candle that went down here, correct? Right? Now, right? You see this candle here? It left this overlapping consolidation area. Somebody on the sell side came in with some resources and was able to take the market down. Now, while this area is demand right here, okay, this area above here is potential supply. Why do I say potential supply? Come on, guys, the veterans in the room. This is where you shine. Why is this area above here potential supply or resistance? What hasn't happened yet that happened down here? Anyone? Bueller? Failure. We haven't had any failure at that level yet. Okay, where we've gotten multiple tests of this area. You guys remember the movie Ferris Bueller, don't you? All right. So this area up here, okay, this area up here is potential supply. Okay. This area up here is potential supply. I shade that in, not as green, okay, because that's not an area I necessarily want to go long. I'm going to shade it as a shade of pink. Why pink and not red? Well, because I haven't had a test of this level. Okay, no test of this level. So my 4-hour supply, okay, hopefully Gamer is here because he was asking me about this. So 4-hour supply is, what is it? Well, I need to look to the left here. It looks like it's around 41,000. Yes, this is potential supply. No test, correct. So, but I'm going to mark it down anyway. I'm going to say that I have 4-hour supply where I could potentially find some sellers. If I'm going looking for sellers, this would be the place I would go. All right, 41,085. Okay, because if I look to the left, I have evidence of them. Okay, right here. Okay. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. That's really what I do on the 4-hour chart. I want to know, where in the playground can I find my market participants? Okay. This is a seller playground. This is a buyer playground. Okay. So that's my 4-hour demand, 4-hour supply. Okay. Yes. We're doing top-down analysis. Correct. Now, what we're going to do, first thing I'm going to do, and again, this is what I do with every market that I participate in. I capture all this information. Okay. If I don't capture this information, I feel that I'm not prepared to engage in that market. All right. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a volume profile, not for the current session. I'm going to draw a volume profile for the prior session. So I'm going to locate the opening bar, which is 9:30 Eastern on Dow, right? Click on it. I'm going to select the fixed range volume profile, click on this once, drag it to the close, and click on it again. Now, this volume profile gives me value area high, value area low, and point of control. Okay. So I can extend these lines, right? I can extend this line. This is value area high. This is value area low. And then I like to draw my point of control in red. Okay. So those are my levels. So now I'm going to go back to my little text box window here. And I have 39. Let's see. I have value area high. I'm going to abbreviate it as VAH as 39,579. Okay. And then I have POC, which stands for point of control, at 39,442. And I have value area low at 39,340. Okay. So I'm just, again, I'm giving you a glimpse of what I do with each market all right, and giving you a good, solid, hopefully understanding of how I generate the levels on my list. Okay. Now, what's the next order of business for me? Well, I need to know. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Alejandro. Go make some cash. Okay. All right. So we got 39,964. Okay. That is my average daily range, average daily range high. Okay. 39, 39, 39,948. Okay. My average daily range low is 39,262. Okay. 39,262. 39,262 is my ADR low. Okay. All right. So I have my ADR high, my ADR low. My point of control is 39, 39,442. Okay. 39,442. Okay. Yes, I got you. All right. So what's the next thing that I look at? Well, we're a minute away from establishing that. Okay. And that is ASR. Okay. Now we're gonna keep this on here because we're going to show two other areas, but this is how I generate the list. Okay. So did you guys just see that the ASR range just modified here? Okay. So my average session range, the range that I could expect to see in the Dow has just been created for me. Okay. So my ASR, now this is session based. I trade mainly the New York session. So my ASR high is 39,817. And my ASR low is 39,252. Okay. So now I have everything from a location perspective that I need. Now it's a question of how well does price react away from these levels. Okay, is really the only thing that remains for me because I have location, right? Just like in real estate, when you're out there looking even for an apartment or a home, it's location, 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 right? Location, 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 right? Well, the same is true in the markets. My first order of business, the items that I have in this list are all about location, 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 right? I need to look for location before I need to trade in good location, right? That's half the battle, right? Then once I wait and be I'm disciplined, I'm waiting for good location, then I look at price action. Then I look at evidence. If market participants are going to are aligned with my view of the market, okay, and are going to react away from this location, okay, all right. So, what to make of this market? Again, similar to what we saw in the equities in Nasdaq and the ES. Price is open inside value. All right. Now, the last order of business here is the initial balance range. So you can see here that the initial balance range is developing. Has not established yet. The initial balance range for me is the first hour of trade. All right. This is just developing. Okay. So this is kind of how what my charts look like. It's all about location. It's not telling me to enter or exit trades. Okay. It's just giving me a map. All right. Of areas that I should look to participate in. Okay. Simple as that. Not anything more than that. Right. Then I look at price action to help me arrive at my opportunities. Okay. All right. I think so. Again, similar to what we said about the Dow, we're at a location now that could offer us a reversal in price, but we don't necessarily doesn't necessarily have to happen. We could rotate all the way through value, right? Price could go all the way through till this area down here, right? Before we see any sort of significant reversal. And chances are we'll probably maybe head down to ADR or ASR before we see any sort of significant reversal in price on the Dow. Right now, I would say that you need to align yourself to the bearish side. Okay. But we're starting to come into some levels that could cause price to reverse on you. right? So that's why you need to be careful when you're in the middle of swings. Okay. All right. I think that is it for me, guys. Again, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. Don't be afraid to hit the like button. Don't be afraid to comment on my YouTube on this recording when it becomes available. Again, yeah. So I'm happy to entertain any questions that you guys might have on anything that I covered. But that was a really good, in my humble opinion, a really good example of how I generate these items that I use on a daily basis. Okay, in this case for the Dow. All right. Okay. So if there's no other questions, guys, yeah. So yes. So stumps. When you see the recording up on YouTube, make that comment there. Right. If again, it doesn't have to be guys. I'm happy to adjust here. These sessions, the content I'm providing is for you guys, right? Excellent stumps. You too. All right. You're welcome, Farador. All right, guys. So that's it for me. So we'll go ahead and close out the sessions. I have no group coaching today, guys. Friday is family day. All right. So I will be doing some things with the family. So I will not be having any sort of coaching later this afternoon. If you want to find out more, yes, today is family day. So no group coaching. All right. So I'll be in the normal coaches room via the Top Step Discord server. If you want to find me there. Okay. If you want to participate and be notified of these kind of sessions going forward, yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can find me up on my YouTube channel. That was the way you found me here today. All right. So as I close every session, guys, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have a good day. And if I don't see you, have an excellent weekend. All right, guys and gals, have a good day.